Good day, family, and welcome to today's episode of the Market Compass. Our forex focus is going to be on the DXY and majors, all right, the Euro USD, the GBP USD. Before we dive right into it, let's go through the forex factory and see what we could potentially expect this week for the news. On Monday, we're going to be having card CPI. I don't really need card-related news, so it's not much of an issue for me. And on Tuesday, we don't have any red folder news. Wednesday, we have the AUD, we have the GBP, and we have the USD FOMC meetings. And on Thursday, we have NFP. NFP was supposed to hold last week, but because of the US shutdown whole thing, which is now over, all right, we should be seeing NFP by next week. So next week, Thursday, I guess we are scheduling the NFP instead of on Friday now on Tuesday. And on Friday, we now have flash manufacturing PMI on USD. We have GDP, retail sales. We have Euro USD German flash PMI. All right, so quite a very much interesting week for us ahead, and it's something that I really look forward to. I know that next week is going to be very great for each and every one of us. So having said that, let's dive right into what we have here in the market. From the monthly daily range, the very first thing I want to do is to build my bias, right? So for the monthly daily range, my bias is going to be very much the daily range I'm going to be concerned about is these highs and these lows where the market is currently trading at. And I would want to scale down to the daily time frame to see, all right, structural evidences in the market. As long as this market is concerned, we're heavily bullish. We are very, very much heavily bullish. But then something very interesting about this bullish market structure. Let me show you here. I like looking at the larger waves when it comes to structure than the immediate waves. And there was a very clear story. You know, the market trades from external ranges, one external range to another external range. All right. So if we are bullish, we see markets create lower lows or higher lows, rather higher highs, coming to create a new higher lows. And, you know, they continue moving in fractals or they continue moving in that method till we capture an external liquidity and we just move from that. So external to internal liquidity to external liquidity, just more like that cycle. So, and overall, we had, this is how I'm viewing the structure in the dollar index. We had these lower lows, all right, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Then we got a break of structure right here, created a new highs, gave us a higher lows because these lows actually did not close below this. And now we've gotten a new higher highs. Now, initially, I would have been wanting to consider these structures right here, but I'll be very, very skeptical about it for many reasons. That you see these lows here and these lows here are all potential internal liquidity, all right, potential internal liquidity. So there are chances that we might see some heavy mod sales to capture some of this liquidity before we start attempting to buy the dollar index, all right. This is just simple basic market structure. So having said that, if at all price is going to react from these levels to buy, even at that, we even have these highs, lows, and highs. So we might even see these lows being captured as internal liquidity. So if at all we are going to really see price react from here, that means I would want to see a daily break, not even a 4 hours. The daily time frame will have to give us a serious break. If not a daily break, then a daily morning star candlestick evidence or a daily bullish engulfing candlestick evidence. All right. I in the previous videos I talked about the morning star candle and the evening star candle pattern. I talked about the rising and falling tree. I also talked about bullish and bearish engulfing. So I would want to see a daily bullish engulfing or a daily morning star evidence before I will be able to execute this particular trade, without which there will not be execution. So I will be much more interested in more selling bias, even to capture these lows and maybe some potential lows that we have here that price might want to take as internal liquidity before we start going all the way to the upside. Typically like what price just did here, right? You see how we came for these lows right here, even these lows, before we start attempting in this overall structure to capture this external liquidity right here. So more sales is what I'm going to be looking at based on structure. If I should correlate what we have here with what the quarter point levels is showing us, we see that the quarter point levels is giving us some very, very much interesting levels right here. Okay, so we are at the this quarter point. We are reacting from this particular quarter point right now. It's going to make much sense for price to at least retrace to this quarter point or 50% of these quarter point zones before we start attempting to buy again. No doubt we have the quarter points, major areas of support and resistance around quarter point, which is a very, very key point of interest for me. And we saw that price broke below that support and resistance. So there are chances that we'll just react from there for some more sales to the downside. So if you come to the 4 hours time frame, that is exactly what we are seeing here, right? So we broke below those major areas of support and resistance, and there are chances that we might just see continuation of price action from Monday all the way to capture some of these lows, even these lows, and the relative equal lows that we have here. Can you see this relative equal lows, which is a very, very interesting liquidity for us, all right? Area of liquidity targets for us. One more thing again I want to look out for is the weekly time frame and see what the weekly is exactly doing here. So the weekly, we got this evening star candle on the weekly time frame, which is a very good one actually. So I would really, really love to see the weekly capture these lows. All right, those people that trade CTR, I don't trade CTR, but there's this friend of mine who we were talking over some points ago, and then he was mentioning that he wants to sell the DXY, and I was like, yes, I have same selling bias on the dollar index. And then he was mentioning the whole CTR thing. I was like, oh, that is beautiful. Whatever strategy it is that you trade, that is okay. So, but even without CTR, this is a typical case of an evening star play. I mentioned that and I've thought about that. The videos are in the previous, that is, if you go through the channel, you see the videos in the previous videos that have been released. So I know that this lows here is an easy target for us, and these lows, including these lows here. So I would really want to see price capture these lows before we start seeing any form of bullish price action. So my targets for the week already, or my drawn liquidity for the week already, is right at these lows on the dollar index. So coming down to the 4 hours time frame, it's going to really, really make sense for us to see price action react from any of all these levels to start selling to the downside. So more bearishness on the dollar index, which in turn is going to simply mean bullish price action on Euro USD, bullish price action on GBP USD. So keep your eyes on that. All right, so if we should come to GBP USD and Euro USD without having to maybe go from the monthly time frame for the daily time frame, all those run, right? The DXY has given us a potential call on what to expect. So a bearish DXY is a bullish GBP USD. So I'm bullish on the GBP USD. Easy target on the GBP USD now is going to be these quarter point levels right here. We also have some liquidity, drawn liquidity that we have here, but that quarter point is an easy target. So more of bullish continuation on these guys, at least to capture external liquidity and, you know, proceed all the way to these highs. That is exactly what I'm going to be expecting on the dollar index. So coming down to the daily time frame, all right, you can see we're even respecting this minor daily structure that is ongoing here. And we had also a typical case of a morning star candle play, which is a very, very good candle play for reversals. So I'm anticipating more bullish price action, obviously, to these quarter point levels before we start seeing any other reaction again to the downside. All right, same thing applicable for Euro USD, more bullish price action. We are not done yet with the EU buys. So EU buys, targets, easy targets for me are going to be these highs and potentially these highs all the way here. All right, so I would really want to see that deep retracement. At least, even if we don't get that deep retracement to this high, we should see price come all the way to these levels. Now, if we should come down to the 4 hours time frame to identify potential points of interest, quarter point level support and resistance, these are going to be the support and resistance zones that I will be very much interested in. Can you see? Those are very, very strong and powerful levels right there. So I would actually want to say that by the price opening of the week, we should, if either we retrace deep, we even have an imbalance right here, right? So once we get that imbalance play, a clean 4 hour shift in structure, not 1 hour, not 15 minutes, preferably a 4 hour shift in structure, a 4 hours morning star candle, or a 4 hours bullish engulfing candle, very, very, very clearly. After a sweep of the liquidity, that will make sense to now start buying this price action. Easy target to be these highs, some of these highs resting above here. We have some imbalances here that we can also target, and that is going to be the play for me. All right, so this week I would want you to trade safe, clap easy, don't blow your account. These are the targets where I'm bearish on the dollar, I'm bullish on Euro USD, and I'm bullish on GBP USD. All right, so having said that, trade safe, clap easy, and don't blow your account, and I will see you guys again on the next one. Shalom, shalom.